What's the deal, fam? It's your man Eeze. Recently I did a poll asking you which project were you anticipating more. Was it Nas and Primo, or was it Pete Rock and Common? And overwhelmingly, most of you chose Nas and Primo. In full transparency, I must say I was part of the minority. So I figured I'd do a tell of the tape, stating as to why I voted the way I did. Let's check it out. Let's start with production. At this particular moment and stage in their careers, I believe that Pete Rock is a bit more sharp than Primo. If we're just talking about recent records, What Defines My Name versus either Trying or Wise Up, Pete Rock has the edge. Drum selection is much better. Creativity. And keep in mind, when we talk about production, we're talking about the creation of an entire album, not just one-offs. So we need that creativity, right? Different drums, different textures, different sounds. Pete Rock seems to be in his bag when it comes to that. And typically Nas, when he works with producers, he locks in with that producer. Common, on the other hand, talking about production for this upcoming project, it's a possibility that we may get James Poyser playing piano or something, or Questlove on drums, or Robert Glasper doing some Fender Rhodes overdubs. That's all part of production, the choices that you make. So at this particular point in time, I would have to go with Pete Rock. Not to mention, we all know Nas and Primo's history, but something about this Common and Pete Rock tandem seems like a match made in heaven. Like, Common sounds perfect over soul music. The Chocolate Boy Wonder is the #1 soul brother, so I'm looking forward to it. So if I had to give the edge to someone out of these two legends, gotta go with Pete Rock at this particular moment. Now, with regards to writing and lyrics, I'll probably have to go with Esco on this one, but Common is no slouch at all, as you all know. In my estimation, he has a top 5 to 7 solo discography in hip-hop history. Yes, Chicago's very own Common discography is ridiculous. But I happen to believe that Nas is the better rapper. They both happen to be exceptional artists. But when it comes to album direction, concepts, and the game within the game, like details and syntax, I'm going to give that to Nas. Now, we're talking an album, right? So there's a possibility that we can get some features. And if we're talking features on an album, I would have to give the edge to Common and Pete Rock, right? When it comes to Nas, I really couldn't think of anyone that I would want to hear him feature with on an album, like with the exception of Eeze, which is common knowledge, or probably Lupe. But Common is a little different because the way he utilizes his features, right? It may not necessarily be a rapper. We can get someone like, I don't know, a Bilal, Dwele, Badu, over Pete Rock's production. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about an album, not a wish list, right? We're talking about the right feature at the right time, placed on the right track. All the stars seem to align perfectly for Common and Pete Rock. The musicality, the soulfulness, it doesn't typically just come down to a 16 from a contemporary, you know what I mean? I happen to believe that Common is elite at selecting the right person for the right track. You know what I'm saying? Removing himself from a rapper, taking on an executive producer role. So I will give the edge to Pete Rock and Common when it comes to features. Let's move on to mixing. Respect the audio engineer. They are the unsung heroes, but anyone who does music or has done music, we all know that an audio engineer typically shines best when you give them great sounds to work with. That means the levels have to be right, the drum sounds or keyboard sounds that you select, things of that nature. So that takes us back to production, right? Ultimately, I decided that Pete Rock was in a much better space production-wise than Primo at this particular moment, right? So I would probably give the edge to mixing-wise to Common's and Pete Rock's album or project. I'm not sure if he's going to be working with Jamie Stobe again, or maybe Primo could be working with, and Nas could be working with Eddie Sancho. Who knows? Legendary engineers, but like I said it before, it comes down to the sounds that you provide the engineer, right? You want to make their lives as easy as possible. Although they're wizards and they're the unsung heroes and they save the day, they shine best when the artists and producers do their jobs and provide them with great work to actually work with. So I went down to production. We did writing. We did features. We also did mixing. 4 categories. And out of those 4, in my estimation, Pete Rock and Common would have won 3. All with the exception of the writing and the lyrics. So let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Either way, I'm looking forward to both of these projects from all 4 legends, Nas and Primo, Pete Rock and Common. And hip-hop is in a great space, man. It's in a great space. It's in a great space. It's your man Eeze at TheEezeExperience. Go get yours. Yeah.
Hey, yo, Eeze.